Well, when it comes to agents, pro athletes want someone to show me the money. Well, Eugene Lee has done that. He and his agency have negotiated contracts totaling over $1 billion. But Eugene's job isn't to make sure his clients bring in the big bucks. His job is to be his brother's keeper.
In the cutthroat world of sports management, it's hard to find someone who isn't in it just for the money. Meet Eugene Lee. He left a steady paycheck at a law firm in New York City for the competitive world of the NFL. Eugene is known as the powerhouse agent who conducts business the same way he lives his life, with faith and integrity. In his book, My Brother's Keeper, Eugene gives us a look at the business side of football and why he offers his clients something above and beyond the dotted line.
Eugene Lee is the president of MBK Sports Management Group, and his new book is called My Brother's Keeper. And Eugene, we welcome you to the 700 Club.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with your book for a moment because you have a statement in it that's a little odd. Sometimes in life, you just have to tackle Yoda. Explain that.
When I was in law school, my third year of law school, my brother and his frat brother came out to visit for their first Notre Dame game. For his first Notre Dame game, and we went to a Halloween party that night that was sponsored by the law school, and there was, as I was standing by the dance floor on the party, I just started to realize, you know, I don't want to live a conformist life. I want to be a nonconformist in a good way. I want to have the courage to pursue dreams and to understand God's will for my life. And on a whim, I just saw Yoda standing by the bar, and I said, you know, how funny would it be if somebody ended up just tackling Yoda? And so I ran over and I tackled Yoda, and my brother, I mean, there was a look of incredulity, disbelief.
Did Eugene just do that?
Fear, yeah, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it was an analogy for something greater in my life. And Yoda was no worse for the wear. I mean, I helped him back up to his feet.
Probably didn't feel it.
Exactly. But from that moment on, you know, I tackle Yoda every day. When I ask my wonderful wife to marry me, when I hop on a plane to meet with a recruit with no guarantee that I will sign that player, I tackle Yoda. It's about living a life of no fear, filled with the Lord's perfect love.
You actually got your start because of a couple of pickup basketball games at Notre Dame. How did that happen?
I was in law school. Again, it's about opportunities that the Lord puts in your life.
Something about law school, Eugene.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the combination of law school and Notre Dame, but when I was in law school at Notre Dame, and you know, I always grew up playing basketball. I could play a little ball. Even nowadays, even in my older age, I can still play a little bit. But playing pickup basketball, became friends with some of the guys on the football team. They asked me to become certified. They knew I'd accepted a job offer with a top firm in the city. So I moved out there. In my first 4 years, I was just representing Notre Dame players on the side and began to realize, you know, I was good. I had an aptitude for it. My educational background, my training, the experience I was gaining was allowing me to excel in the work I was doing for my clients. But more importantly, Terry, I realized I love the work.
Yeah.
Working with young men of character.
That's a gift, to love the job that you do, to make a living.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the job that you do, because I think most people, when they think of agents, they think of big contracts and getting the most money, being sure your guy's the guy that comes out on top. But you say there's a lot more to it than that.
There really is. The NFL is a cutthroat business.
For sure.
Everyone knows that. And you need to be a steadfast rock. You need to be somebody in your client's corner, because it really comes down to us and them at certain times. And it's having an eternal perspective in the work that we do, and knowing and understanding that, you know, beyond taking care of their contracts, making sure they're handled and procuring endorsements, it's about understanding that when adversity hits, not if, but when it hits in the NFL, you are there for your client. You're going to give him godly advice. You're going to have his back. You're going to be in his corner. And that's one less thing for them to worry about.
It's more than a business deal. It's a
really
relationship, really. So your agency, your management group, what sets you apart from others?
It's the eternal perspective that we take. We are dynamic. We are cutting edge. You know, it's a tremendous combination of experience, but then using the contacts and relationships. Everything in this world, I believe, is relationship driven. You know, the work we do, the ministry that we have, it's about building meaningful, authentic relationships, and that's what we pride ourselves on in and around the NFL.
So how do you handle it when you're relationship driven and the people that work for you have become a part of that as well, and now you're up against an organization or an individual that is very money driven? I mean, you said yourself it's a cutthroat industry. So how do you contend with that when that's who you have to do business with?
Good character and faith is good business, in my opinion. And over time, if you continue to do the right thing in the small moments and you continue to stand fast and excel for your clients in contract negotiations, even the most hard-minded, money-driven, bottom-line individual will at least respect the work you do for your clients and the manner in which you do it. And that's where we've gotten with a lot of these NFL teams, which has been great.
You talked about getting on a plane and going out to talk to a player about representing them. What's involved in all of that? Like, how do you connect with these people, and how do you become the guy who's, your brother's keeper?
We're very fortunate to have the training in terms of the scouting and evaluation on the front end. I mean, the way the industry works, you invest in players during the pre-draft period, and you make your commissions, you make the revenues on the back end. So you really want to be diligent in terms of scouting and evaluating players. Now, once you identify players that are the right fit, not only for their play on the field, but for their character and how they handle themselves off the field, you want to make sure that it's a player you can trust. Trust is key. Trust to make the right decisions on and off the field so you can be consistent in your goals, consistent in your values, and use your time in absolutely productive pursuits. That's the key. If
there's one thing, well, there are many things, but one of the things that stood out to me in your story is your diligence and ability when you were a young guy, when most people were at the bar with Yoda, to look on down the line at what you wanted to do with your life. What message would you give to young people about that? Because it's so easy to get caught up in that whole college, university, party atmosphere, but life happens pretty quickly once that cap and gown come off.
It does. It's about balance. I think balance and faith and understanding. It's about time management, organizing your day, handling your business, both in the classroom and, enjoying your life and enjoying your time as a college student. You'll never get that back again, but understanding that there's a greater goal. And the greater goal that a lot of young people don't see is doing God's will and allowing Him to use you for His glory.
You say you were born to do what you're doing. What do you mean by that?
The combination of the talents and gifts that the Lord has given me and the platform that I've been given, the opportunities that continually rise in my life day in and day out, starting on the pickup basketball courts in Notre Dame, all across the NFL and different college football stadiums across the country. I'm reminded every single day, when I see a rookie client play in front of his hometown crowd with 30 family members and friends with tears in their eyes for him to achieve a dream, and knowing that God used me, used what He gave to me to help this young man maximize his ability. That just resonates with me, and I know that this is what I'm meant to do. Gave
you your dream, and now you're helping others get theirs.
Absolutely.
That's pretty awesome. What a great way to make a living. Well, thank you for being here. It's so great to have you. And I want you to know you can hear more of the details of his stories by getting the book that Eugene's written. It's called My Brother's Keeper. I think you'll find it fascinating. It's available nationwide. Plus, Eugene also joined our social media team for an exclusive behind-the-scenes interview. And you can see that by going to facebook.com/700Club. Bless you. And
Thank you.
Great story.
Thank you very much.
Of God's faithfulness.